Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be going over a kind of how it's made type thing for the remix I did of the GTA 6 trailer theme. So I'm recording this before I've even done it, but the way I've kind of planned this is that song is actually just going to go out, just going to be a cool little YouTube thing to share. But I figured people might want to see kind of the behind the scenes of how I go about it, so I thought why not record the whole process and show how everything was produced. Might be a cool little video. So that's exactly what we're going to do here. Like I said, this one will probably go up a bit later, but as of the time I'm recording this, the trailer is pretty much just dropped. And it's a classic song. I thought it would be fun to kind of give it a reimagining, maybe do some like very hype up-tempo stuff, like maybe drum and bass like what I usually make. Something like that might be a really cool thing to sort of transform it and just put this out. So getting straight into it here, we do have our empty project. The song starts with like a couple of chord hits. We're going to try to get that down just in any synth. So we were opening up Serum and we're going to get started here. So where we're at with this right now, I've just come up with these chords. This is at the original tempo. We're going to put it back up in a second, but it sounds like this so far. I also took the piano that you hear from the beginning of the song, and this is like a chopped up rhythm. I don't think the voicing's just right yet. This is just me getting it down. We're going to go and change that later. But what you're going to notice if I play this right now, you know, it sounds pretty good there, but when we put this back up to the tempo we're remixing at, this is going to sound way too fast. You'll hear that here. So I think what we're actually going to do is adjust the spacing on some of these and make it a little different. So I'm thinking something like this. Like, we could do that, just like get rid of every second one. Or we could do one of these, like... I'm not too sure which one yet. We're going to start with the first one. See how that goes. Ended up with this, which I think is pretty interesting. Gonna try to process that so it sounds really good. Let's see what we come up with here. Thinking we're gonna crush this band a lot. And up here. Layered it with a high octave one as well, which should boost this area some more, which is exciting for what we're trying to do here. Because that's gonna sound really like MIDI, but cool. Now if we layer in like a synth that's doing something similar but like boosts transient, that could sound very nice. Do like one of these, but make it a sine. That's a little cheesy right now, we'll fix it, but let's see. We just put like 9 dispersers on here, but I'm with it because it sounds cool. Done a bit of processing here, like on this. I think I want to bust these together, maybe throw a delay on it all, it'll sound really nice. Yeah, we're getting there now. This is about ready for a bass line. So we could get that in pretty easily because we did draw on our chords earlier. I think I'll just start with like a noise bass and we'll tweak it as we go. I'm thinking this with just like a really obnoxious break over it could actually be really cool. I'm excited for that. Just doing some bass design and accidentally came up with this, which is kind of cool. Might be a bit messy in the mix, but we'll see. Kind of needs like a saw layer to just go with it, to not be doing anything crazy, just for like that solid, like fundamental under it, I guess. That's kind of what I wanted. So now we're starting to see the structure of this. You know, it's going to start with these piano chords. And then I'm going to have this saw patch sort of open up, and this will be like a makeshift build-up, like it'll just do something like this. But you know, we'll make it right. It'll sound good. So throw this on a macro so we could move that wherever we want, and just have it go as this progresses. You can have it cut out in the very end as well. Throw some chorus on there, always makes a patch like that sound good. Maybe another octave as well. And then we'll have like our drop, which I think what I'll do is I'll have the bass like this, really obnoxious, and then like a synth that would sort of follow the vocal melody. Could be cool to transform that into like dance floor drum and bass or something. Could be really interesting. Let's also throw a break in there. That, if it like opens up over time, similar to what the chords are doing, could be very nice. So what I've got here now actually is kind of interesting. We took the like original like melody of that vocal. I just put it on this saw patch that I made. And honestly, I think over this bass, it kind of sounds like a really cool dance floor track right now. And then over here is where we're gonna have that chord change. But I think for now, we could actually start to build out this initial part of the drop. I really want some like hard-hitting drums, so we'll see what we come up with that. So I've just been doing some drum work here, this being like kick and snare, and then I added in a couple of different layers of tops, and right now we're working with this. So that's where we're going to work on our next thing, which is the chord change. I think overall, this sounds pretty good so far, which is honestly kind of interesting because we only have our lead and our bass. There's no other ear candy elements, and we will be adding those. Of course, we can pull from the intro, add stuff back for the next half as well. But first, I want to get that MIDI down. So we've had a couple of new additions here that I've kind of done off screen, just messing with this. One of them is like this ear candy element. It's just this cool little squarey sound that goes in the background like this. I'll kind of demonstrate how that goes like with the drop in the next section. I think it leads into a potential build-up 2 really well. Sounds like this right now. Focus out for it. I want to do a big harmony here. You see this transitions back really well, so we've got a good amount of it here. This could go into like a drop 2, which might be like a halftime section. I might do something a little different than what we have in the first one. Same kind of sound design, but you know, different drum pattern. Rearrange things a bit to make it work a little better in that kind of format. Alright, so we're now back in this project. We've made quite a lot of progress since the last little screen recording I did, because honestly, inspiration struck, and I just had to get it down. But we have what ended up being the full thing. Like this is, this part of the video is actually recorded a few days later because I went and finished this and did the initial upload. So I'm going to break down kind of what I did since that last little clip, so that way this can make some more sense. So over here we had our drop 1, there's like the build up, the drum and bass like full time speed drop, and then, as I said, I wanted to go into a halftime section, and I think it actually happened pretty quickly and easily, but it sounded nice. So we have our drop 2 build up, and it goes into this. So what's happening here, you know, we took our same elements, we have the cool slidey square patch, the bass, and the lead, but then we did some interesting drum stuff. So we have a new drum rhythm here that's being layered with this and a crash. That's really all it is. It's pretty simple, but that sounds like this. I layered in this snare that I thought was really good too. That's just in the background. I thought that sounded nice, cool little element. And then it goes into a full-time section where all of the elements of pretty much the entire track come back. These being all the different like piano chord layers, stuff like that. And that goes like this. And then from here, it honestly just ends. We have like the cool drum ending conclusion bit here. And again, that's what I put on YouTube. We just did some mixing stuff like this, but that is just sort of a very quick explanation of how I went about making this. If you want to hear the full thing, I do have the video up already. You can see that on screen now with a card. Definitely would recommend you go check that out. And let me know what you think of this. This is, coincidentally, pretty much the same length as the trailer. That was not intentional. I noticed it when I finished it. I'm like, wow, that's also at exactly 1.5 minutes. That's kind of crazy. But, you know, that happened. Maybe we edit this over the trailer. Could be a cool video, I don't know. But let me know what you think of this in the comments below. I really like how this turned out. I was kind of worried because, you know, the song itself is really good and I didn't want to sort of butcher it with a remix. And I know, like, this is stylistically very different, but I am pretty happy with how this turned out so far. So don't forget to drop a like and subscribe to stay up to date with all of my latest content, and I'll see you in the next video.